Deep in the fabric of human experience lie two profound systems of understanding, separated by millennia, yet united in their recognition of universal patterns in love and connection. Ancient Vedic astrologers, gazing at celestial movements, recognized in Venus's changing states the very patterns that modern attachment theorists would later discover through careful observation of human behavior. Through Vedic wisdom, Venus emerges as the celestial architect of our capacity for meaningful bonds, weaving two essential threads through human experience. In Taurus, she governs our fundamental sense of worth, not merely self-esteem, but our deep-seated belief in our right to flourish in life's garden. Through Libra, she orchestrates the intricate dance of reciprocity that shapes all significant human connections, from our first bonds with caregivers to our most profound adult relationships. These same patterns would surface millennia later in the careful observations of attachment theorists, who noticed how our earliest experiences of nourishment and connection create templates for all future relationships. The templates they identified, secure, anxious, avoidant, and fearful, mirror with remarkable precision the various states of Venus described in ancient texts. Both traditions recognize a fundamental truth. Our capacity for love flows from our earliest experiences of worth and exchange. When Venus moves naturally through its states, we enter relationships knowing our inherent value while remaining open to genuine reciprocity. Similarly, secure attachment enables a natural flow of giving and receiving, allowing us to dance in intimacy's delicate rhythms without losing our center. Yet both systems also acknowledge the vulnerability of this exquisite mechanism to early disruption. Whether through the moon's starvation of Venus or through disrupted attachment bonds, early wounds alter our entire emotional ecosystem. Each type of interference, whether from Moon, Sun, Mars, or Saturn, creates distinct patterns that echo through all future connections. As we follow Venus through her various states, her moments of pride, shame, delight, and struggle, we discover the same relationship patterns that modern psychology has mapped through decades of research. This parallel isn't merely academic curiosity. It offers profound recognition that human hearts, whether viewed through the lens of celestial movements or psychological theory, follow universal patterns in their journey toward love and connection. Through this marriage of ancient wisdom and modern understanding, we gain a complete map of human intimacy, one that illuminates not just our wounds but our potential for healing. Both systems point toward the possibility of transformation, whether through Venus's exaltation or through what modern psychology terms earned secure attachment. In both traditions, we find hope that our capacity for genuine connection, once wounded, can be restored to its natural grace. Picture an infant whose first tastes of emotional sustenance arrive like unpredictable rain, sometimes flooding, sometimes scarce. From these early moments emerges an exquisite sensitivity to affection's ebb and flow. Both Vedic astrology and modern psychology recognize this pattern, describing it as the moon's starving Venus, or in contemporary terms, anxious attachment. At its heart lies a fundamental confusion about emotional nourishment. Similar to someone who forgets they carry water while constantly seeking out streams, these individuals lose touch with their internal resources, becoming dependent on others' emotional sustenance. Nature, ever adaptable, crafts an extraordinary response to this perceived scarcity. The nervous system transforms into an instrument of remarkable attunement. Eyes learn to read microscopic shifts in expression, ears calibrate to subtle variations in tone, the body becomes a living barometer of others' emotional weather. Yet this masterful adaptation extracts a steep price. While cultivating acute sensitivity to others, the inner compass loses its true north. Internal signals fade as external awareness heightens, creating a perpetual outward orientation that characterizes both anxious attachment and moon-starved Venus. Into adulthood, this pattern manifests as an impossible expectation, that relationships should fulfill every emotional hunger, heal every wound, quench every thirst. Those who once monitored a caregiver's inconsistent presence grow into adults eternally scanning for signs of connection or abandonment. Within partnerships, three distinct currents merge into one overwhelming flood. Personal needs, partner requirements, and relationship necessities collapse into a desperate search for complete emotional sustenance. A subtle choreography begins. gentle suggestions about appearance here, soft hints about habits there, each aimed at optimizing the source of nourishment. When Moon starves Venus, even achievements that exclude partners trigger ancient alarms. Independent pursuits feel threatening. Natural separations spark crisis. A missed call launches waves of panic. Low-energy days transform into emotional emergencies. Without resources for self-soothing, every fluctuation in attention demands immediate resolution. Love's natural rhythm, the sweet restoration that follows life's challenges, loses its pleasure. Instead of allowing natural cycles of connection and rejuvenation, constant seeking for fulfillment disrupts the very patterns that could bring genuine renewal. Each relationship's inevitable conclusion reveals another layer. Rather than processing loss or questioning core assumptions, attention immediately shifts toward finding the next wellspring of nourishment. This swift transition between partners exposes a deeper belief. Somewhere, perfect emotional fulfillment must exist. Yet within this challenging pattern lies a path toward wholeness. Venus, by her nature, seeks fulfillment through meaningful exchange with the outer world. Like a flower turning toward sun, drinking rain, and drawing nutrients from soil, she flourishes through genuine interaction with life's offerings, through touch, music, taste, beauty, and fragrance. Meanwhile, the moon requires different sustenance. Unlike Venus's outward reach, lunar energy must find contentment from within. Picture a deep well continuously replenished by underground springs. This represents the moon's natural state of self-sustaining emotional peace. When this inner well runs dry, no external pleasure can truly quench its thirst. The journey toward healing becomes an intricate dance between these forces. Venus gathers sustenance from life's rich banquet through art, nature, friendship, partnership, and creative expression. Each source provides unique nourishment for the soul, much as different foods feed various aspects of the body. No single relationship can provide every nutrient, just as no single food fulfills all physical needs. One other very common occurrence is when early childhood weaves an invisible equation linking love with achievement. Through countless subtle moments, warmth flows most freely after displays of talent, attention arrives as reward for excellence, connection becomes contingent on performance. These early patterns reveal how the sun casts its shadow over Venus's territory, shaping relationship dynamics through starvation, shame, and agitation. When the sun starves Venus, brilliance becomes both sanctuary and prison. The young psyche learns swiftly that affection flows most abundantly toward exceptional performance. Every social setting reinforces this message. Family gatherings burst with praise for accomplishments, classrooms buzz with attention for excellence. Love itself becomes a reward for shining brightly. This creates a unique variation in attachment patterning, distinct from traditional anxiety or avoidance. Rather than tracking emotional availability, the psyche orients itself around opportunities for excellence. Beneath dazzling displays lurks a profound uncertainty about simply existing. Even the brain's chemistry adapts, releasing bonding hormones primarily during moments of recognition rather than simple presence. As the sun's shame touches Venus, success that dazzles outsiders casts long shadows in private moments. Each triumph adds weight to an invisible burden. No achievement, however brilliant, touches the core emptiness within. School years paint this story in vivid strokes, where gold stars and perfect scores only deepen an inner sense of fraudulence. Intimate relationships transform into an endless performance no one requested to witness. Love offerings arrive wrapped in achievement's glittering paper, yet underneath lies empty space where simple presence should dwell. Marriage especially illuminates these shadows. Daily intimacy threatens to expose the gap between facade and essence, prompting ever more frantic displays of worth. Even pleasure becomes performance art. The body learns to showcase rather than feel, to impress rather than connect. An invisible audience watches, judges, measures, preventing the vulnerability genuine intimacy requires. The sun's agitation manifests as an endless noon in love's garden, no gentle dawn, no restful dusk, no shadows where tender feelings might take root. Every moment of potential connection transforms into another task requiring efficiency and purpose. Playgrounds become training grounds. Weekends fill with enrichment rather than enjoyment. Natural inclinations toward pleasure or rest wither under productivity's harsh light. Touch itself carries urgency's vibration. embraces end prematurely, disturbed by mental calculations of time spent versus time productive. Kisses arrive distracted, thoughts already racing toward next obligations. Within partnerships, one partner forever races toward invisible finish lines, while love struggles to keep pace. Yet beneath these patterns lies potential for transformation. Recognition of how early equations between love and achievement shaped connection opens doorways to change. Worth need not be earned through constant brilliance. Intimacy flourishes in both light and shadow. Love's true nature encompasses far more than doing, achieving, or performing. Healing involves relearning relationships' natural rhythms, the ebb and flow of connection, the balance between shining and resting. As this understanding deepens, the sun's various shadows begin lifting, revealing possibilities for love untethered from achievement's endless demands. Yet other celestial forces shape our capacity for connection in equally profound ways. Where the sun teaches us about love's relationship to achievement, another planetary dance reveals how passion itself can both ignite and consume intimacy's delicate flame. Popular culture paints Mars and Venus as eternal cosmic lovers, their opposition sparking romance's flames. Yet Vedic wisdom reveals a different truth. These celestial forces maintain careful neutrality, neither drawn together nor pushed apart. This neutrality opens deeper understanding of how martial energy influences our capacity for connection. When Mars casts its shadow over Venus, passion's story unfolds not through Hollywood's romantic lens, but through the delicate interplay of fire and form. Like a flame that begins as welcome warmth before growing to consume everything in its path, Mars transforms natural drives into overwhelming forces that can sear intimacy's tender tissues. Raw passion becomes both blessing and burden. Desire burns so intensely it consumes all other aspects of existence. Daily responsibilities fade into shadow, relationships dissolve in immediate wanting's heat, life's crucial rhythms vanish beneath whatever currently inflames the heart. This burning manifests in layers, each creating distinct relationship patterns. In its direct expression, passion overwhelms the connection's delicate balance. Much as flames require careful tending to warm rather than destroy, these overwhelming desires often preclude sustained intimacy despite desperate longing for closeness. When Mars joins forces with Rahu, passion becomes truly untamable, leading toward reckless pursuit without regard for consequence. This creates patterns mirroring fearful avoidant attachment, where intense longing combines with inability to maintain stable bonds. Each attempt at connection becomes another spark, threatening to ignite an inferno. Perhaps most fascinating is Mars's alignment with Ketu, creating passion's peculiar paralysis. Here, fire burns intensely within, yet finds no healthy outlet. Like water meeting superheated metal, this repressed energy transforms into physical manifestations, tremors shaking the body, anxiety refusing to quiet, symptoms defying medical explanation. Unlike other planetary combinations affecting primarily emotional or mental realms, Mars and Ketu's combined influence on Venus creates distinct bodily expressions. Physical form itself becomes a battlefield where excessive passion seeks release. Some souls shake with energy they cannot channel, while others develop mysterious ailments stemming from trapped intensity. Yet within this challenging dance lies transformation's seed. As skilled metallurgists direct intense heat to forge beauty, this configuration's fire can be channeled toward creation rather than consumption. The goal isn't to extinguish passion's flame, but to learn its proper tending. Creative pursuits become crucibles for transformation. Physical practices offer healthy channels for intensity. Relationships themselves can become vessels capable of holding and honoring passionate nature rather than being consumed by it. Through this lens, Mars's neutrality toward Venus reveals profound wisdom. Rather than romantic opposition or attraction, their relationship speaks to the necessity of finding balance between passion and connection, intensity and intimacy, fire and form. Understanding this dynamic illuminates pathways for transforming potentially destructive forces into wellsprings of genuine growth and authentic relationship. Yet even as we learn to channel passion's fire, another celestial teacher brings essential wisdom about love's deeper costs. Where Mars shows us passion's power, Saturn reveals a relationship's price. Saturn brings sobering wisdom to love's domain, teaching that every connection carries its price, each bond demands its tribute, all intimacy requires payment in time's precious currency. Like an ancient accountant of the heart, Saturn's influence shapes how we navigate love's costs and returns. Picture pouring endless water into a well that never fills. Such is life when Saturn starves Venus, a perpetual investment yielding diminishing returns. Love's ledger remains forever in deficit, emotional accounts constantly overdrawn. Each relationship becomes another venture operating at loss, draining precious resources while offering minimal replenishment. This creates a unique form of relational fatigue, born not from fear of closeness, but from bone-deep weariness with its constant demands. Connections deplete rather than restore, each new bond becoming another draft against already limited emotional reserves. Hearts once eager to share grow cautious with their dwindling resources. Relationships often form with those carrying heavy burdens, souls wrestling with addiction's grip, minds clouded by depression's shadow, spirits weighted by unresolved trauma. Each partnership becomes an exercise in endless giving, an emotional economy where investment never yields expected returns. Saturn's shame cuts deeper still, etching regret into love's landscape. Failed marriages accumulate like unpaid debts, long-term bonds crumble despite careful tending. Each attempt at connection adds another entry to loss's growing ledger. This shame touches deeper than mere disappointment. It questions the fundamental right to love's abundance. Yet paradoxically, Saturn's delight brings remarkable gifts. Here emerges practical wisdom about love's true nature, not as fairy tale, but as conscious exchange. These souls grasp intuitively that relationships require investment, compromise, regular maintenance. They enter partnerships clear-eyed, understanding that every connection's rewards come paired with corresponding costs. Unlike those blessed with naturally easy connections, these hearts have earned their relational wisdom through careful study of love's economics. They find satisfaction in small moments of genuine exchange, understanding that working through discord often yields greater returns than seeking perfect harmony. Every choice in love involves sacrifice of time, of personal freedom, of certain desires. Yet under Saturn's wise influence, these sacrifices become conscious investments rather than burdensome obligations. Each gift of self is measured carefully, weighed against its potential return, offered with clear understanding of its true cost. Through all these expressions runs a common thread, the recognition that love operates by laws as immutable as gravity. Whether these laws become crushing restrictions or guidelines for wise investment depends largely on how we learn to work within their bounds. Even in its harshest aspects, Saturn teaches Venus essential truths about a relationship's real demands. This understanding opens pathways toward more sustainable connections. For those experiencing starvation, learning to balance emotional expenditure with necessary replenishment becomes crucial. For those carrying shame, recognizing that past investments' failures need not determine future ventures offers hope. For all, embracing Saturn's fundamental lesson that love requires conscious investment creates foundation for more enduring bonds. These Saturnian patterns mirror distinct attachment styles recognized by modern psychology. When Saturn starves Venus, we see the hallmarks of dismissive avoidant attachment, not born from fear of connection itself, but from the bone-deep knowing that relationships drain rather than sustain. Like desert travelers who've learned to subsist on minimal water, these souls carefully ration their emotional resources, having learned through experience that wells often run dry. When Saturn's shame touches Venus, the pattern shifts toward fearful avoidant attachment. Here, past relationship failures accumulate not just as losses, but as evidence of fundamental unworthiness. Each unsuccessful bond reinforces the belief that connection itself carries unbearable risk, creating a painful paradox where longing for intimacy wars with terror of its cost. Yet, Saturn's delight reveals something remarkable, a pattern strikingly similar to what therapists call earned secure attachment. These souls develop not the easy security of naturally smooth bonding, but the hard-won wisdom of understanding relationships' true demands. They've learned to measure love's price not as burden, but as worthy investment, to approach intimacy with clear eyes rather than either naive optimism or defensive withdrawal. Through all these manifestations, Saturn teaches us that attachment patterns can transform through conscious engagement with love's real demands. Whether starting from depletion, shame, or growing wisdom, each soul can learn to navigate relationships' costs with increasing clarity and purpose. Where Saturn's wisdom helps us recognize relationships' real costs and necessary boundaries, Mercury brings a different gift entirely. Like dawn following night's stern lessons, when Mercury illuminates Venus, a rare alchemy unfolds. The marriage of mind and heart, creating pathways for genuine understanding. Unlike Mars's fierce passions or Saturn's stern lessons, Mercury brings the subtle gift of clarity to love's domain, weaving communication's golden threads through connection's tapestry. Through Mercury's touch, relationships transform into gardens of mutual comprehension, rather than battlefields of emotional need or stages for performance. Love flourishes not through grand gestures or intense declarations, but through genuine curiosity about another's inner world. Like skilled diplomats, these souls naturally craft scenarios where both parties emerge enriched, discovering ways to honor both self and other without compromising either. Here, a particular kind of relational intelligence emerges. Where others might resort to manipulation's shadowy arts, Mercury's light enables transparent expression of needs and boundaries. Like master translators, these hearts can articulate their deepest truths while remaining exquisitely attuned to others' capacities and limits. Understanding flows naturally, as if two different languages suddenly find their common root. Daily interactions reveal this gift in action. Conflict becomes opportunity for deeper knowing rather than threat to connection. When tension arises, curiosity precedes reaction. Questions probe gently toward understanding's core. Listening extends beyond words to the subtle music of emotion beneath them. Dialogue replaces power struggles, creating space where both voices can sing their truth. This configuration mirrors secure attachment's finest qualities while adding something uniquely mercurial, the capacity to repair ruptures through understanding. Rather than taking ease in connection for granted, these souls actively cultivate bonds through conscious communication, like gardeners tending carefully to both soil and seed. Love becomes a form of eloquent conversation, where each partner's unique voice finds space to resonate. Differences transform into opportunities for expansion rather than sources of conflict. Most remarkably, these hearts grasp that relationship thrives not on perfect harmony, but on the artful bridging of natural gaps between souls. Mercury bestows another precious gift, the ability to discern appropriate boundaries for different types of connection. Like skilled cartographers, these souls map relationship territories with remarkable precision, understanding that each bond serves its unique purpose. This creates connections both intimate and appropriately contained, like rivers that know their proper banks. Timing itself becomes an art form in their hands. They sense naturally when to speak, and when silence serves better, when to draw near, and when to grant space. This creates a relationship's natural rhythm, a dance of closeness and autonomy that feels both spontaneous and perfectly choreographed. Perhaps most precious is Mercury's ability to transform love into genuine friendship. Whether romantic or platonic, their connections carry qualities of true companionship, mutual fascination, shared discovery, and authentic exchange. Bonds form not just through emotion or attraction, but through genuine appreciation for each soul's unique melody. But what of those for whom life's sweetness comes too readily, for whom connection flows without effort's deepening grace? Here, we enter Jupiter's domain. Jupiter brings a peculiar paradox to Venus's realm. Its blessings both illuminate and obscure, creating lives that glide smoothly across surface waters, while mysterious depths remain unexplored. Like a garden blessed with constant sunshine, yet never knowing nurturing rain, this configuration reveals how material abundance might sometimes mask spiritual hunger. Imagine sailing perpetually in favorable winds. Such fortune graces those touched by Jupiter's light. Relationships arrive with remarkable ease, life's comforts flow abundantly, difficulties smooth themselves like wrinkles from silk. These souls navigate life's waters in well-appointed vessels, cushioned from hardship's harsher lessons. This grace manifests distinctly in love's territory. Romance often arrives gift-wrapped in serendipity. Partnerships form with surprising ease, as if cosmic forces conspire to create fortunate meetings. Even after setbacks, these hearts bounce back with remarkable buoyancy, like cork rising naturally to water's surface. Yet herein lies this configuration's central mystery. While Jupiter brings fortune in Venus's worldly matters, it simultaneously veils its own deeper spiritual yearnings. Life becomes like an exquisitely appointed hotel room, comfortable yet somehow not quite home. Relationships provide pleasant companionship, but might miss transformation's deeper fire. A unique attachment pattern emerges, neither secure nor insecure by traditional measure, but rather spiritually seeking while materially satisfied. These souls rest comfortably in connection's outer forms while sensing something elusive remains untouched. Love provides beautiful frames, but sometimes lacks the profound picture meant to fill them. Couples might enjoy material harmony and social ease while harboring quiet questions about deeper purpose. The very smoothness of their connection, while pleasant, sometimes fails to catalyze growth's necessary friction. Like perfectly ripe fruit lacking subtle complexity, their love satisfies without necessarily transforming. This brings forth essential wisdom about intimacy's nature. While Jupiter's blessings create comfortable passages, they might inadvertently bypass the growth that comes through working with relationships' challenges. The very ease that makes life pleasant becomes a subtle veil between heart and truth. Yet within this dynamic resides remarkable opportunity. Having satisfied material needs, these souls stand uniquely positioned to seek deeper waters. Their challenge lies not in surviving life's storms, but in voluntarily sailing beyond comfortable harbors. The very awareness of something missing becomes compass pointing toward growth. Transformation beckons through learning to use material blessings as foundation rather than destination. This means approaching relationships not just as sources of comfort, but as territory for genuine exploration. Like wealthy travelers discovering simple food often provides greatest nourishment, these souls learn to appreciate Jupiter's gifts while seeking wisdom beyond mere comfort. This journey from comfort toward deeper meaning points toward yet another celestial configuration, one that embodies the highest potential of relationship wisdom. Where Jupiter brings blessed ease that might inadvertently veil deeper growth, another state of Venus reveals how resilience and grace can coexist. Among celestial configurations shaping our capacity for love, Venus proud shines with particular grace. Picture a tree that bends without breaking in fierce winds, whose roots drink deep while branches reach skyward. Such resilience marks these souls who maintain their vitality even through life's harshest seasons, finding fresh sources of joy when others might wither. Transitions that could uproot others, such as moving across continents, dissolving long partnerships, facing health's challenges, become opportunities for renewed growth. Like bamboo after storm winds pass, they rise again, discovering beauty in different forms, weaving new patterns of connection from life's ever-changing threads. Their relationship with love itself speaks volumes. Where disappointment might lead others to guard their hearts behind walls of cynicism, these souls maintain faith in connection's essential worth. Loss brings its natural grief, yet never dims their recognition of love's enduring light. Every ending becomes prologue rather than finale, every challenge an opportunity for deeper understanding. This remarkable resilience flows from their unique relationship with life force itself. Think of vitality as sacred water flowing through existence's vast network of channels. While others might find their streams blocked or diverted by circumstance, these hearts maintain access to life's sustaining current, even in drought seasons. During times when partnerships require space, they maintain steady center. When closeness calls, they draw near without drowning. This innate wisdom allows them to sustain lasting bonds while honoring both connection and solitude's vital roles in love's dance. Most remarkably, their presence acts as catalyst for others' renewal. In friendship and romance alike, they create spaces where all parties find refreshment. Not through conscious effort, but through embodying healthy relationship with life's vital currents, they become like fresh springs in parched landscapes. Through their example emerges profound wisdom about sustainable intimacy. True security grows not from perfect circumstances, but from maintaining vital connection to life's essence through all seasons. These souls demonstrate how resilience in love flows not from avoiding hurt, but from remaining permeable to life's renewing forces, even amid challenge. While some of us naturally embody this wisdom, others struggle to find such grace. The patterns that shape our approach to love often lie deeper than conscious choice. Perhaps you've noticed yourself repeating the same dynamics despite your best efforts to change. Maybe you're the one who always gives more than you receive, or you find yourself performing rather than truly connecting. You might be the partner who burns with intensity that others can't match, or perhaps you've built such strong walls that love itself struggles to reach you. I know these patterns intimately, both through my professional work and my own journey of understanding. When clients first share their stories with me, they often express relief at finally having words for experiences they thought were uniquely their own. There's something profound about realizing that what we struggle with has been so well understood for so long that ancient texts and modern psychology both map its territory. In our work together, this understanding becomes more than insight. It becomes a pathway toward change. We explore your unique story while drawing upon both time-tested wisdom and contemporary therapeutic tools. Whether you're caught in anxious attachment's desperate dance, lost in the perfectionist's endless performance, overwhelmed by passion's intensity, or frozen behind protective walls, we'll work together to find your way toward more authentic connection. My approach is warm, direct, and practical. We won't just talk about patterns, we'll work actively to transform them. Together, we'll explore what keeps you caught in cycles that no longer serve you, while building concrete skills for creating the relationships you long for. This isn't about quick fixes or simple solutions. It's about deep, lasting change that honors both your wounds and your wisdom. If watching this has stirred something in you, if you're ready to understand and transform your relationship patterns, I invite you to take the next step. Let's schedule an online consultation where we can explore your specific situation and see if we're a good fit for working together. Your journey toward more fulfilling relationships starts with a single conversation. Together, we'll explore how to transform your relationship patterns from limitations into strengths, from obstacles into opportunities for deeper connection. To explore these relationship patterns further and receive more insights about deepening your capacity for connection, subscribe to my channel. Share your own experiences in the comments below. Your story might illuminate the path for others walking similar roads. Together, we create a community of understanding where ancient wisdom and modern insight light the way toward more fulfilling relationships. Thank you for watching. This is Ayla, signing off.